What's going on, baseball world? I'm here with my man Matt, CEO of WorldBaseball.com, the number one media website for all baseball in the world. Um, we're here talking about the RPI, the snubs, the college baseball. Um, I'm just looking at some of the RPIs right now, Matt, and the ones that stick out to me are Kent State, um, Mercer, and Purdue. And with Kent State, here's my thing with Kent State, Matt, is all right, they lost. They lost to some teams, but like to me, their schedule when they opened up, they won versus Southeast Louisiana, which is a pretty good Southland Conference team. Lost to LSU 10-7, but then they took 2 out of 3 from SEC Tennessee. So, and then check out their midweeks. One of their midweeks wins was against Ohio State back in March. And then they had another midweek, I believe that they won versus somebody else. And no, they had another midweek they won against Pittsburgh. So they played Pittsburgh twice, lost one, won one. So the Pittsburgh was a team from the ACC that was complaining, saying we did our job, strength of schedule, RPI, 30-some wins, and we didn't get in. So to me, Kent State is a non-Power 4 school. They won a series versus an SEC school, won a game versus a Big Ten school, and then won another game versus an ACC school. On top of that, they have 44 daggone wins this year. That's pretty good. And then their RPI was, I believe, 52 or 53. So it's still a top 64 RPI.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can make the case, too, with, like, other programs. I mean, it's kind of interesting to see, first of all, Matt Tallerini of World Baseball Network. Man, you don't even mention my last name. You know what I've run for 3 years, man. Come on.
It sounds a lot better when it comes from the Italian brother himself. You know, that's all I'm
New
gonna
Yorker
say.
Italian, living in South Florida.
Yes, it sounds better that way.
It sounds better that way. So, yeah, I mean, like, I'm looking at Campbell, bro, because I feel like Campbell kind of got snubbed a little bit. Like, I just feel that their RPI, what I'm seeing for Warren Nolan, they were at 60 and 41-17 overall. Strength of schedule 43. I mean, like, how do you think Campbell could have shaped in? And then I'll go up to the other two also right now as well.
You said Campbell.
Campbell.
Who was? Let's take a look at Campbell's. Let's take a look at Campbell's schedule, because when I looked at some of Mercer's, I see where they might have found stuff. But yeah, let's look at Campbell's. What was Campbell's RPI?
Their RPI was, I just checked on Warren Nolan at 60.
Oh really? Okay,
and
so the RPI was 60.
Was 18-9. Their road was 20-5, but their quad 1 was 2-4.
Okay.
And then quad 2 was 8-0, quad 3 was 15-5, quad 4 was 16-8.
Well, let's see. Their schedule, they lost to Cal Poly. Cal Poly they got to win against Cal Poly. Cal Poly is a Big West champion. They're a tournament team. They got to win against East Carolina, a tournament team, won the American. Got to win against Troy. Troy is one of those teams from the Sun Belt that got 5 teams in. Wright State, they got to win against them. They're the Horizon League regular champions. They got to win against Duke. That's an ACC team.
Not that good this year. Yeah.
Right, but they got to win against NC State. But they're non-Power 4. So to have 2 wins versus ACC schools, a win versus a school that is the representative for their tournament, another non-Power 4 school, or they say Group of 5 school. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's 2 champions. That's 2 league champions that are in the NCAA tournament, plus 2 Power 4 schools, and their overall record, I believe, was 41-17. So they won 41 damn games. That's not easy to do, man.
Yeah, it's not easy to do. I mean, you could even say somewhat of like Notre Dame. Like, I just feel like is there just like a way that these teams could like? There's never going to be a way to fix this.
Well, I think
So,
what
like,
it is they looking at their strength of schedule. Their strength of schedule was 177. Yeah. But even then, Matt, like you're there's 100 and some games. There's only so many teams they can play. They got to play league teams. They got to play teams that are in driving distance. You got to get midweeks in, and in their midweeks, let's be honest, their midweeks are scheduled for easy wins for Power 4 teams, and for them to beat other Power 4 teams, you got to give them some credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not. Yeah, so like Notre Dame was 13-17 in conference, so maybe it's kind of like on the cusp of why they didn't get in.
Right.
I don't think in some realm that maybe they deserved or didn't deserve, but like it's what else is it? Who else is another below 500 team besides an auto bet? It's just kind of interesting to see where all these other programs kind of fit into like other slate of this, if that makes sense. And
right.
it's just a very, but like, Campbell 26-4 conference. I don't see why they could not have snuck in. I'd probably say Gonzaga is an interesting case. Like, I just feel like Gonzaga could have been in with
what was their RPI? 57. Yeah, I think Matt, is their strength of schedule 160, and then also you have St. Mary's, who's won it back to back. So I think that's probably what that's about. Is St. Mary's got in last year, got their first win in the history of their program as an NCAA tournament win. Their coach, I've interviewed him multiple times, big boxing fan. Dad was a boxing coach, loves boxing, loves baseball. I think him, and he just got back because he had left to be the coach at one of the other either Big West or West Coast Conference teams. It's not coming to. It might have been Long Beach State or something like that. One of those schools in that area that your boy with the red hair played for. I can't think of his name right now. Who played for
Justin
the
Turner?
There you go, Mr. Turner. Turner is the beast. So I think that might have been their reason, their straight of schedule, and then St. Mary's winning the tournament. That's the familiarity there. As far as Baylor, I mean, they're 61. Looks like Baylor had strength of schedule of 20, and they had a 61 RPI. That's one. But one I want to ask you about is well, let's get to Mercer. We talked about Kent State. We talked about Gonzaga. We talked about Campbell. Let's get to Mercer.
I didn't even lock the third yet, but we'll get to Mercer now.
Who you say? Who was the third one you said?
So I was on the cusp about Notre Dame, but I don't think Notre Dame's.
No, what was their strength? What was their RPI? What was Notre Dame's RPI?
Notre Dame RPI
67. So I mean, you really can't. It says it was 67, so you really can't field it because that's below 64. Because they say it's a field of 64, so they didn't have a top 64 RPI. So I don't feel sorry for them. But let's look at them. Let's look at them. We know how Notre Dame is. They'll skip what do you call it, bowl games if they're not in the championship. That was a big thing last year. So, all right. So they open up not far from an area you're familiar with, Matt. They open up at Florida Atlantic. They win 2 out of 3 at Florida Atlantic. Lose to Central Florida. Lose to LSU. Win versus Indiana in February. That was in Jacksonville, Florida. Illinois, Chicago, they beat. That's a tournament team. Beat Eastern Illinois. Take 2 out of 3 from Duke. Win 1 game versus Louisville. Swept Clemson. This is all subject, Matt. Your opinion on Clemson this year? What happened there?
I mean, like, Clemson, I just feel like some of their pitching just didn't work out. Like, that's kind of like what the tale is for Clemson right now. I feel like they have to go out and figure out other, recruiting lanes of what can bring for that program. I think, even you could say what Jay Johnson is doing at LSU, but it's like Clemson this year, like, if we're going to go deep into these stats, I just feel that they didn't live up to, like, some of the implications of what the ACC is for them. But you got Nate Savoie, he hit 329, 16 home runs, second in the program, behind Jacob Jarrell. He batted 269, Jacob Jarrell. Jack Crichton batted 301. 14 doubles, pretty impressive. 3 home runs, 27 RBIs. So you had, like, all this, type of players that kind of fix in what other stats and framework can kind of build from this. And also pitching, to be honest, even, like, Michael Sharman, like, that's your number one guy. I mean, like, 50 starts through a complete game, 6-2. Had a 3.39 ERA through 77 innings. 11 walks. 11 walks in 77 innings, 77 strikeouts. I just feel that they had some of these components to be built in with this program, but I don't know what was going to give to them with, certain other guys. And even Ariston Viesi out of the bullpen, he made 20 appearances this year, had a 3.29 ERA. Through 27 in the third innings, allowed 13 hits, 10 earned runs, 18 walks, struck out 37, and he faced 115 batters. Only allowed 2 home runs.
It's not bad.
That says a lot to what.
Shit, he's draftable if he only allowed 2 home runs, right?
Yeah, Ariston Viesi. Yeah, like, it says a lot that what he could probably play into the next level too. But I just felt that, like, Clemson, with what shapes up in the ACC, I just feel that they didn't really have what it took this year, and maybe they can go out and figure out what top recruiting guys they could scout and evaluate and recruit, and I think they could be inside of what the field is next year.
Yeah, because they've always had these high expectations. Another place similar to Texas where they want Omaha trips every year, and I can't remember if Bakich has got there yet. He came over from Michigan, did a phenomenal. I know he's got the regionals and super regionals, and I think they've come up short hosting. So they've been on the doorstep of a College World Series, and they just haven't been able to break through the last couple of years. But they have had good years and have hosted, but they haven't been able to get to Omaha in the last couple of years.
Yeah, like, I just feel like even what we're seeing with Miami, too, as the second seed in the Gainesville region.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, are they in a hole? Or, like, what do you think could happen with the University of Miami right now coming into this Gainesville regional?
I mean, it's very high expectations there. But you and other reporters have told me about their ballpark compared to other places. I mean, there's places like East Carolina who have better ballparks, and they're not Power 4 school. East Carolina is like the Gonzaga of college baseball. Them in, like, Southern Miss, where it's like they're a non-Power 4 school, but they have the fan base and they have the tradition as to where they deserve the respect of a Power 4 school. But what for the expectations at Miami, it sounds like the atmosphere needs to be a little bigger, a little more intensity. But I mean, they did host a regional. What was that, in 2024?
I think so. Yeah, I have to double check on that one.
Yeah. When was the last time they got to the College World Series? That's another one.
It's been a while. Miami Hurricanes. Yeah, you would think they would go in every year. But, like, look at LSU. I mean, like, you got, Daniel Colvette, like he's going to be a top prospect, but then you have certain guys that are going to return under Jay Johnson. So, like, that's another.
Yeah, I mean, Jay Johnson will get it together. I mean, Jay Johnson's got 2 College World Series. They're allowed to have an up and down. I remember the last year they had a College World Series, they had a down. So he'll have his time to rebuild. But he's had not only College World Series appearances, but he's had 2 championships in the last decade. Miami needs to get to the College World Series. I don't think they've gotten there in the last decade.
So they haven't hosted a regional. Miami, they won a regional in 2025. but I'm trying to think of when they hosted it the last time.
I think it was 2024 or 20. It was after COVID. Because I remember they've definitely hosted one since COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they haven't got to Omaha. Is the thing.
Yeah, they haven't been to the College World Series in 10 years.
There you go.
And then, JD Arteaga, it's his third year. I think it'd be interesting to see what other, top recruit. I mean, the portal is like the Wild Wild West right now. I'm just seeing like a lot of other.
Did he play pro ball, Arteaga? I can't remember.
He did. He was signed. He got drafted and signed.
You're right.
Yeah, he played pro baseball in MLB. I mean, like, you had all those legendary teams pretty much in, like, the late 90s. Like, Alex Cora was on that Miami team that lost in the LSU walk-off home run. So, actually, Arteaga he was drafted in the 26th round of the 1997 MLB draft. So he didn't make it to the major leagues, but he played for a little bit, and then he became the associate head coach at Miami in 2003 after he was playing it with Texas. So, but then he kept his own reign in the Miami area. I mean,
right.
You're an associate, but like, this is what I don't get. You're associate coach for 20 years at the U, but you've made it to several appearances in the College World Series, but now it's like your third year as the main head coach. And I feel that he can build a program, but what's it going to take to get past the UNCs, the FSUs, of the ACC? I feel like those are pretty much the dominant. And Georgia Tech. We're forgetting about Georgia Tech this year. Like, Drew Burris having an outstanding year.
Bro, speaking of Georgia Tech, let's talk about Mercer, because Mercer was snubbed. Mercer did have a midweek win versus Georgia Tech, who won the ACC tournament, who had, I think, the second best RPI in the country, who only lost, 8 games all year? Something crazy. They were the only team to lose less games, similar to UCLA. And Mercer had a win against them, and they didn't get in. Yeah, Georgia Tech is number 2 overall, and their RPI is number 2, and they only lost 9 games all year. They were 48-9. UCLA was 51-6. One of the only team to have a single-digit loss. That's not easy to do. Have single-digit loss, on your record. Like, that's insane.
Right. Yeah. So I just feel that it's going to be only interesting now that the committee has to look at the new Pac-12. So, like,
that's going to be interesting next year. That's going to be interesting.
The WACs folded too. The WACs folded after regionals.
Okay, so
yeah.
Here's where I want you to talk about the new Pac-12. So when I'm looking at Mercer the other day, I'm thinking to myself, what is it that the committee didn't see with Mercer? What I don't get why they didn't get in, right? So I'm looking at their strength of schedule. I'm looking at all these things, and I think they had a strength of schedule that was somewhere in the hundreds or whatever, right? But then I looked at their actual schedule, right? So I was saying, okay, Mercer got the Georgia Tech win, and you told me about that. Remember, I wasn't even hip to it. You were covering pro ball and college ball that week that you told me about that, and I looked at their schedule and I said, okay, they played Troy. That's a Sun Belt team. Sun Belt teams are in. They got some wins against Troy, but I think what maybe have hurt them is that they lost to Florida State 22-5, right?
Right.
Maybe people are looking at that, and then also they played Oregon State, and in the Oregon State 3-game series, they didn't win a game. I say if they win one game versus Oregon State, there's no way they could get out. I think getting swept by Oregon State, and they were close games except for one. One was 2-19, but I think them losing to Oregon State hurt them, and then the 22-5 is maybe what they were arguing about with strength of schedule. But like you said, at the same time, them beating Georgia Tech, 12-9. Like, remember, people say, "Oh, it's just a midweek." Some of these big teams schedule midweeks for easy wins, and in the group of four schools or the group of five schools, the non-power four schools, they schedule those games because they know it helps them for competition in their conference, and it's only going to make them better. And they understand they have to have a measuring stick, huh?
And exposure on TV media rights.
Right, and they have to have a measuring stick for the tournament. So that's the only thing I can think of is that they had a strength schedule in the hundreds, and I think what hurt them is not winning one of those Oregon State games. Even if they lost the series, if they would have won one of those games against Oregon State, they would have to let them in because of the wins.
Yeah, so, I'm looking at the new Pac-12 right now, besides Oregon State, Washington State. What are your thoughts about 7 programs? So the newcomers...
I mean, the Summit League does it. I mean, they can play one away, one home, and one away. And I think them adding Texas State and Dallas Baptist is huge because Texas State is historically a good baseball school. Oh, I want to say about 6 or 7 years back, either 2018 or 2019, right before COVID, they had Stanford on the ropes a year that Stanford advanced to the College World Series in a regional.
Oh, in the regional, got it.
Yeah, they had them on the ropes in a regional where if they would have finished the game, they would have made it to Super Regionals instead of Stanford, and Stanford ended up going to the College World Series that year. But I mean, Dallas Baptist, we know that is it's a small school, and the only Division I sport is baseball, similar like some of those programs you tell me about in the Northeast that are small in every other school, but they're Division I in lacrosse or hockey. Dallas Baptist thing is right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Dallas Baptist thing is baseball. They've won regionals. They've hosted super regionals. They're a powerhouse in baseball. That's only going to help them. Fresno State's really good at baseball. San Diego State's good at baseball. I think Gonzaga is only a basketball only. They may be baseball, but the fact that you got Stanford, no, excuse me, not Stanford. You got Oregon State, you got Washington State, you got Texas State, you got Dallas Baptist. What are the other three?
Through what programs?
Huh?
Through which programs?
What are the other three Pac-12 schools?
Oh, yeah, the other three Pac-12. It was San Diego State.
That's a good baseball school.
Yeah, San Diego State, Gonzaga. Did we say Gonzaga?
Yep, that's a good baseball and basketball school.
And Fresno. Aaron Judge, Fresno State.
Yeah, Fresno State. I mean, that's going to be good because I mean, you get 6 with 6 times 3. That's 20-some games. So you'll get 20-some games with home and away, and then you get some early games. I mean, you play in some tournaments and you get some midweeks. I mean, that's easy to get 50. Dallas Baptist will have no problem getting midweeks. They got TCU, Baylor, North Texas, daggone UT, Tarleton State, Abilene Christian, A&M, Dallas Baptist at UT Arlington, shit. Like, they got all type of schools that they can play midweeks against early in the season. And then as far as midweeks for Oregon State, they got Portland there. I told you I saw the Oregon State game this year. Remember, I told you they played it at that new minor league stadium that was north of Portland.
Right.
So you got University of Portland, you got Portland State, you got Oregon, and then so between that, I mean, they got one. I mean, if they do home and home, that's 7 midweeks right there.
Right.
And if they want to stay over, they're good. San Diego State will never have a problem getting midweeks because they got UC San Diego, that's in the Big West. They got University of San Diego, and then obviously they got all the Southern California teams that are within not even 2 hours, they're like in an hour and a half because they playing at that part of Southern California, that's south of LA, which is a bunch of schools like the Long Beach States, the UC Santa Barbaras, the UC Irvine. So they will have no problem getting midweeks. So it's going to help out. What I want to ask you about, what do you think about Hawaii leaving the Big West and going to the Mountain West?
I think it's going to be so crazy alignment with certain flights. I mean, didn't they play one game and had to fly back in the last conference event? So, I mean, hey, like, it's just like, it shows, like, well, you fly 3.5 hours to wherever you got to go inland, and then, like, a midweek for them is kind of insane because they're never in class.
Well, I think what they do is early in the season. That's why early in the season, if they schedule like a Wright State or Ball State or a non-power 4 school from the Midwest, I think that's why they do 4-game series like those first 3 weeks there. They do they go Thursday through Sunday, or they'll do a doubleheader. So I think that's why like the first 3 weeks of the season they do all 4 games, and then I noticed that their midweeks, what they would do is if they played a team in San Diego, then they play another team on that Monday that was in town. So if they play like like if let's say if they played in the Big West, let's say they played against I don't know, let's say UC Irvine, then they would probably try and play USC on that Monday if USC had a home series that weekend.
Yeah, so I think like some of the eye test and the sample size kind of has to like be aligned more in college baseball with how the committees run. I just feel that it's never going to be an even playing field, even for like these mid majors that get snubbed in college baseball, because even in college basketball, I feel like you don't see certain mid majors get snubbed like you used to.
Right, but do you think because they have that first 4 in, and we talked about that. But let me ask you this: do you think they kept some of the mid majors out because last year Murray State upset some people? On top of that, if I said this all the time, if they had ABS last year, I honestly think University of Arkansas Little Rock upsets LSU, and then in addition to that, remember how Texas lost. Texas got beaten their own regional by a mid-major team. So is that punishment for them trying to say we can't lose this money again?
Well, I think Northern Illinois can make the case though. Like Northern Illinois was 21-12 in the Mid-American.
Yeah.
And they're 35-17 overall.
Yeah.
But like their strength of schedule non-conference just doesn't frame 136.
Right. The only reason they're in is because they won their tournament. Like Kent State.
Yeah, right.
Kent State put in that work, and they got Kent State got wins against 3 Power 4 conferences. There's only 4 Power 4 conferences. They got wins against 3 of the 4. And then the most powerful conference, they got a series win. So.
Right, but they're in the Tallahassee region, was pretty tough, and Coastal's looking for revenge.
Who's in the Tallahassee regional?
FSU, Coastal, Northern NIU, and St. John's.
Oh yeah, let's talk about your boys at St. John's, man. It's 2 years in a row. What y'all cooking up there, man?
St. John's got it. They got the coaching staff. They got a lot of certain other stuff they're working around.
Where's their field at? Where do they play at?
They play on campus.
Okay.
Yeah. St. John's plays on campus.
Nice
They
field.
Be playing at City Field. I mean, hey, like it would be nice to like see college baseball have like a home field of a major league venue on Tuesday.
I mean, even if they can't do City Field, damn, like give them like the Long Island team, or like what's the other minor league team in Brooklyn?
Too far east.
What's the team in Brooklyn? The minor league team.
Brooklyn Cyclones.
Yeah, I mean, how big is that stadium?
It's like 3,000.
Yeah, I mean, give them the Brooklyn Cyclones. Give them the Independent League Stadium that used to be in Jersey. What's the one Ricky Henderson used to play for? Rest in peace.
Newark Bears.
Newark Bears. Are they still in business?
That closed a little bit ago. So
the stadium.
The Newark Bears Stadium that was like right in downtown Newark closed a little bit ago.
Is it still there, or they knocked it down?
knocked it down, demolished.
Damn.
Yeah, Newark Bears are, yeah.
Wow.
No independent baseball.
I forgot to tell you this. Speaking on like some of the mid-major teams in San Antonio, I caught this on the news the other day. MLB said their standards for their old stadium are not met anymore. So San Antonio is spending a lot of money to move the new minor league stadium downtown. Because remember, I used to tell you San Antonio is one of those cities that could very easily have a Major League Baseball stadium because so many people are moving there. So on the news, they actually said in the clip they're working on a stadium to show at Major League Baseball that maybe in the future, if they wanted to have an expansion team, they could have it in San Antonio. But that opens up the door for two of the teams there. You got UIW and UTSA. So that old stadium that'll be out there that the I forget their names, the San Antonio
Missions.
Missions, because they play for the
Double A of the Padres.
Padres. Yeah, that opens up something for there. So I went to an actual tournament there, almost 8-9 years ago in Notre Dame. UIW and somebody else was there. It was like a lot of Catholic schools that were there for an early season tournament. And it's a nice size double A stadium, had kids play area and everything. So I'm thinking if they have that extra stadium out there, heck, some of the teams there could, if they do good enough, they can host a regional there if they don't add on to a stadium on some of those campuses. But
yeah, so like even back to St. John's, like even if like they get out of this regional, like I just feel like a guy like Jader Raffstanger. I mean, he's played in 57 games. He has a 328 average, 846 OPS, 15 doubles, leads the programs in hits with 76, just 3 home runs, 47 RBIs. He's just 1 RBI short of the program leading Adam Aggresti. Should say his name right because I'm Italian. But yeah, 29 walks for Jader Raffstanger, and I mean 7 hit by pitches. That's not bad. And I think the limit in his framework is 40 strikeouts, which is pretty high. But I mean it's not as high as Aiden Frey for that, who had 54 this year. So says a lot on some sample size for what St. John's offense could do. And Sean McMillan, too, I think he's 1 star, too, to look out for the Johnnies. His average is at 320, 73 hits, 11 doubles, 10 home runs, 41 RBIs. So, yeah, and then Aggresti led the program this year in home runs at 17. So I think St. John's, I wouldn't be surprised if they made it out of that regional in Tallahassee, but I think they could cook up something there for sure, during this next upcoming weekend. But
what's
Alabama State? What's our take on Alabama State, though? I feel like that's another.
I don't know. I feel like Bethune-Cookman was the only team out of the SWAC that could compete with anybody. But I mean I guess that's the rules. I wish they could have finished, but I mean Bethune-Cookman definitely would have been a problem. I wish they could have got in, but hey, good luck to Alabama State. Maybe they can play with the top tier. I mean, bottom tier of the regional, but they're going to have a problem against Alabama.
What if Troy makes it out of Gainesville?
I don't think so. Something about O'Sullivan, he finds a way to win in the regional. But they could. That's a good argument. Miami played good in the ACC tournament, but I mean Miami is going to have their hands full with Troy in Florida. Who else is in that regional?
That is the Gainesville regional, just them and Ryder. Troy Ryder, the U.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be intense. Three of those 4 teams are really tough. Before we get into the bracket, let me make my argument for Purdue one more time. So Purdue was 37-20. 18-12. I actually saw them at the Round Rock Classic earlier this year. They had Southern Miss beat, which is a team that's hosting, and then they lost in the last seconds 4-5. But they beat Baylor. They got a win against number 11 ranked Oregon State. I think and they had 1 win against Oregon, a tough 2-1 win against Oregon. I think where Purdue hurt themselves, Matt, and couldn't get in was, and they also had to win against UIC. UIC is a tournament team. I think where they hurt themselves was they got swept by two Big Ten schools. I'm trying to find. I know they got swept by Iowa. Oh, that's what it was, Matt. They got swept by Iowa and they got swept by USC. I think that hurt them. I said, had they got one game from USC and one game from Iowa in season, because they got a tournament win against Iowa, and then they got wins against Murray State, a pretty good Missouri Valley school. If they don't get swept by those two schools, I mean, when they got in the Big Ten tournament, uh, they lost at first to Michigan State, but then they turned around. They beat Illinois, and then they beat Iowa to eliminate, and then they play UCLA, and they play UCLA tough, and they lose 3-4. Now, if they win that UCLA game, there's no way you can't let them in, because their strength of schedule, I believe, was like top 30.
Wait, but what about TCU, Penn, and Michigan? We're forgetting.
I didn't like Michigan's frame of work. Some people online that we know that are colleagues, they think that they didn't let TCU in to justify giving two Big 12 teams the lowest regional seeds.
So we have ASU, Kansas, Oklahoma State, and who else? Now.
Say it again. I'm going to count them real quick.
Big 12, we have UCF.
Yep.
Have 4 programs.
No, you got 6. You got Cincinnati got in.
Cincy got in, okay.
Yeah, you got 6. You got 2 teams hosting. You got West Virginia and Kansas hosting.
WVU has a regional. Yeah.
You got 2 teams hosting and 4 got at large.
Yeah. 4 then on the road.
Yeah.
A Big 12's rival, Nebraska, hosting a regional.
And a lot of people don't think Nebraska will make it out of that regional.
I could see Ole Miss and ASU skate, yeah. But if they make it far, then it's home turf for them in Omaha. So could be interesting to see if Nebraska makes a somewhat of a Cinderella run, being the 13th number 1 seed.
Right.
In this time frame of the tournament. But LIU, like, what are your thoughts about how LIU got into the field?
Did Binghamton not get in? Did Binghamton get in?
Nah, LIU won the conference.
I thought, dang, so Binghamton didn't get in or Maine? Hold up, let me look. What the hell? Double check the bracket. Make sure Binghamton didn't get in. They didn't get in? Wow.
Yeah, LIU did not get in. I mean, LIU got in off a automatic bid.
Wow. Okay, I just wanted to see this. Purdue's strength of schedule was 86. The RPI was 53. So at least their strength of schedule was lowered, was in the 100. It was like, lower than the 100. A lot of them was 100, over 100. So it was under 100. So, wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's.
Yeah, nah, it's crazy, man.
That's nuts. That is nuts, because
insane.
LIU is usually those. I always see LIU down in Texas or Florida earlier in the year to get their games in.
Yeah. That's kind of what went down with everything else. And NEC, the Northeast Conference, I mean, you really need to win that auto bid pretty much.
Yeah.
In order to get in. Like Lemoyne's have had their...
No. I take that back, bro. Binghamton is in the American East. They did get in. They're at the West Virginia Regional. LIU is the NEC. Because I know LIU, I covered them for FCS football, I believe. And they're in like Duquesne's conference in football shit. That's the Northeastern Conference, and Binghamton is the American East. So Binghamton's conference has University of Maine, UMass Lowell, Albany, UMBC. That's their conference.
Right.
Longwood, they'll play a midweek against Cornell. They'll play Bryant. You know where Bryant's at, all the way up there. They'll play a midweek versus Siena. So yeah, your boys at Binghamton are in. But yeah, the LIU is going to be interesting because I always see them as people scheduling them like Texas A&M or University of Texas San Antonio first week to get a win. But congrats to them, man. They going from Long Island to what regional they in?
LIU is in the Athens regional.
Shoot, from Long Island to Georgia, baby. Respect to them. They gonna love that atmosphere.
Yeah, they went down south, man. They're
down south in a big atmosphere. I mean, those kids have never played in front of a crowd like that this year.
Yeah, and they're gonna play up against probably DC or Liberty. I mean, like that's gonna be interesting to see like what falls into that for sure. Yeah, I mean like Northeastern, like that. Yeah, Binghamton. You said got it from the American. Not the American. Which conference you said Binghamton's in?
Yeah, you're right. The American East.
American East, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, the American is it's all confusing, bro. I know you're pro baseball and they got all these damn conferences in college, but yeah, American East, and then you just got the regular American, yeah.
I mean, did we give some Jacksonville State love and Little Rock? I think that kind of marks.
Let's talk about Little Rock. Let's talk about Little Rock because this is 2 years in a row they've won Ohio Valley, and nothing but respect to Little Rock because it's like, last year they had LSU on the ropes, bro.
Right at the box.
Right.
In Baton Rouge, and now they UVA.
So check this out, bro. I know why you said Binghamton Northeast Conference because in some things they are the Northeast Conference, and then in some sports they're the American East Conference.
Oh yeah, some schools do that. They're like alternate conferences.
So that's why you said that with the LIU thing earlier. So that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of different like programs. I think Albany still in the American East
for baseball, but for football they're in like the CAA or whatever. You said they changed the name.
Oh, it used to be the
Yeah, I think they're in that for the
athletic conference now.
Yeah.
Athletic association. Yeah.
Because for the Villanova left, and I think Villanova is going to be in the Patriot League now for football.
Maybe. Oh, the Patriot League. Oh, they're going to wipe Fordham out if that's the case. Shout out to the Rams.
No, well, Fordham has a pretty good football team. As a matter of fact, and we getting off baseball a little bit, Fordham had a linebacker this year that I hope it was either a linebacker or a tight end. His ass should have got drafted this year. He was huge.
Well, sharing that same facility kind of benefits and having turf with baseball, football.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's sweet how they switch it up. That's so crazy. You ever been to a Fordham baseball game?
Yeah, multi-purpose for baseball and football still and soccer.
Yeah.
So, kudos to Jack Coffey Field kind of revitalizing a little bit. When that place was grass, I don't know how they could have done it as much, but now that it's turf, it's definitely an easier hospitality to have multi-sport events there, for sure. Right. But yeah, man, this has been a great segment. This has been an amazing outlook of where college baseball is.
Before you get off real quick, Matt, just run down all the regionals real quick if you got them in front of you.
Yeah. So I'm just doing this on everything on my iPhone right now. Like on the regional slate, we're gonna go up. UCLA number one in the country, the UCLA Bruins. So they're gonna be having Virginia Tech, Cal Poly, St. Mary's in their regional. We're doing 1 through 16. So
we'll see if Virginia Tech gives them any problems. That'll be a good one, yeah.
Georgia Tech is gonna have OU, Oklahoma, the Citadel, in Illinois, Chicago, UIC.
Ooh, that'll be a tough one for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Number 3, you got the SEC 2026 champions, Georgia Bulldogs. They're going to have Boston College, Liberty, and Long Island.
Right.
Being out of their regional. Auburn at number 4. They're going to have UCF, NC State, and University of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay.
They're the 4 seed. Milwaukee, Chapel Hill at number 5 with the number 1 seed in their regional. They're gonna have Tennessee, East Carolina, VCU at 6. So
See
we
that?
got 10 more, right?
Wow.
At
Wow.
6, you got Texas. So everybody in Austin gonna be UC Santa Barbara, Tarleton, and Holy Cross with the auto bids.
Okay, Holy Cross. They're from one of those conferences up east right now. I can't think of it right now.
Patriot League.
Oh, they're Patriot League. Got it.
Yeah. Alabama is going to be hosting their regional OKSU, Oklahoma State University, University of South Carolina upstate. Alabama State's going to be in Tuscaloosa. Alabama's at number 7. Number 8 for the 8th number 1 seed. We're just halfway there. University of Florida, University of Miami,
Yep.
Troy, and Hyder are going to be in that regional in Gainesville.
Yeah.
Hey, now to backtrack everything else. At number 9, Hattiesburg. So Southern Miss, they're hosting UVA, University of Virginia, Jacksonville State, and Little Rock.
Okay, yeah, Virginia might give them a little push, but I see Southern Miss should be able to get out of that.
Yeah, so the Tallahassee region, FSU, of course, Coastal Carolina, NIU, Northern Illinois University, and St. John's.
Okay.
Yeah, St. John's. St. John's from Queens, New York.
Yeah, they're going to smoke something.
And then you got in Eugene, Oregon. What do you think of... All right, so we didn't even catch on. What do you think about Oregon State playing in Eugene?
That's going to be a fight. Last year, Oregon State... Yeah, last year Oregon State hosted, so that shows you how big that is going to be for them to be in a conference next year. Last year, I think the people hosted them because they had such a good record without having a conference, and they won pretty much all those early season conference tournaments against Power 4 teams. But that's going to be interesting, and this needs to be a big statement not only for their rivalry, but for the Big Ten. As I told you earlier, when we talked earlier this month in May, they had a midweek, Oregon versus Oregon State, and the game was sold out, and it was somewhere north of Portland at their minor league stadium, and it's a brand new minor league stadium. I think it was either AA or High A, sold out. So Oregon State is one of those teams like Southern Miss, like Texas A&M. Their fans travel. Be ready when Oregon State play each other, whether it's an elimination game or the first game. Get ready for that game to be loud and sold out.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely tuning in on ESPN this week for sure. And then College Station, besides Texas A&M, you got USC, University of Southern California, Texas State, and Lamar. Like, what's your thoughts about these programs?
Let me ask you this, Matt. Somebody was saying something about this earlier. What do you think about the Lamar coach announcing now that he's going to Houston? Usually before they would wait till the regional was over. I know you got the transfer portal, but you still got plenty of time. The biggest transfer portal window.
I think it's a big blow.
Yeah. I think because if Lamar was going to try and do what Murray State did last year and have a run, you announced that already. And like I said, the longest transfer portal window is in the spring, compared to like the one over the winter break. So, yeah, I definitely wanted your opinion on that. I like why announce it so early. If you're
I don't think it's Bush League that he did that. To be honest, like I would have announced it as like when my season was done.
Right, because there's not a rush right now.
Yeah, in this landscape of college baseball, it's definitely totally different.
You would still have pretty much through the College World Series to assemble a team, and then you still have you got summer to go to summer ball games. You got time to assemble a team, so you don't need to rush. I remember when John Calipari got the Arkansas job, it was nobody left on the team, and he had to go find players. You can find players like in a 6-week period. You're going to find players at University of Houston.
People recruit in the middle of the season. Yeah,
right.
They go out of their way for one day, one full day, and then fly back.
Right.
No, hey man, even what we're seeing with other adaptations, kind of grinning on 13 on the 13 number 1 seed right now. But just my take on Tony Vitello, you know, being a manager now with the San Francisco Giants and then being a head coach at Tennessee for, you know, a few seasons, it's like, well, now you're adapting to a different range. You don't have a recruiting type of pickup deal. Now it's, you know, it's all front office work besides.
Right, and you got to develop those minor league kids now.
Yeah, like call-ups, like DFA. You have a different, you know, regimen of assessing now that you're a manager of a major league team than what you did with certain recruiting angles in college baseball. So,
right.
With windows to open. But yeah, no, Lincoln, man, I think, you know, Nebraska being a host, we could see probably Ole Miss or ASU, Arizona State University, kind of maybe sneaking out of this, and then South Dakota State with the automatic bid. I think that's going to be kind of intriguing to see how they match up. Starkville, Mississippi State, 14th number 1 seed. Cincinnati, Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, and Lipscomb.
That's a tough-ass regional.
Yeah.
Cincinnati is no joke. And the Sun Belt team you said is no joke. And then Lipscomb, I believe, is in Campbell's league. They play good ball during the season. That's actually a low-key tough regional for Mississippi State.
Yeah, no, and then, I mean, like, even round out, like, the last 2 number 1s out of the Big 12, I mean, 15 with KU, Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, Kansas. You got Arkansas, number 2, Missouri State, Northeastern going to Lawrence. This is the farthest Northeastern went this year in the country. Being in the CAA, the Coastal Athletic Association, like Northeastern now going out to Lawrence. I think that's going to be kind of interesting to see how they match up. But teams like Arkansas and Kansas, they're going to be really tough to test. I think those are 2 locks you're going to see out of the Lawrence region. And then Morgantown, West Virginia, man. Old Country Road, take me home. The Mountaineers, the West Virginia University Mountaineers at number 1. It's the last 16 seed in the field of 64 for the 2026 NCAA Tournament. They got the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, the Kentucky Wildcats, and the Binghamton Bearcats. What are your thoughts about the last 2 Big 12 teams as the number 1 seed holds for each of those 6 programs now?
We'll see. I think some people think they should have been seeded higher, but now they've got it because I know last year, when I was at the Big 12, the last year they did in Dallas, some people thought West Virginia should have been able to get a regional then, and they didn't come up. So this year they actually gave them a regional. They just gave them the last seeded one. And then the year before that, 2024, when we both were at the Big 12, and the coach kind of gave me a stink about it, the one that retired that was there before Coach Sabins. He says, well, I know we'll be playing next week. And, I never got to finish my sentence saying, yeah, I never said y'all weren't going to make it. I was just saying that, it was a tough loss. But that year, remember, they actually made a run, and they were a couple pitches away from winning the Super Regional and upset North Carolina. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma State, they had Nolan McLean, Carson Bench. Oklahoma State could have been, like, a little bit of some other stuff, too, from what they were, going about with everything. I mean, the talent they had. So, yeah, no, I mean, like, even the Mets, first of the Mets, man, they got what they had to do so what? The Orange and Blue and Flushing now they're waiting in the wings of why they're in last place at the moment. So,
Coach Sabins, he worked with somebody for Toronto, because I was talking to him during fall ball, and it was during the World Series, and everybody thought Toronto had a chance. And I was texting you too, but he worked with somebody that played for Toronto. So shout out to the West Virginia head coach. I know he has ties with somebody that was on Toronto's team last year. I can't think of who it was.
It's a big coaching tree, man. Like, Jay Johnson's expanding. I mean, that's besides Wes Johnson having a job in the MLB lane. I think the coaching tree in college baseball is definitely evolutionizing towards the major league rankings, especially with what occurs with the CBA being expired this year, the collective bargaining agreement.
Oh, they'll get it done. They'll get it done the way these new TV deals and all that other shit going. They ain't gonna do that because the last time pro ball had a strike, uh, it took them a really long time to recover to get fans back. As a matter of fact, I remember when I was in high school, there were a bunch of people who I could get free tickets from, and I think that's why they tried to sell the Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire ticket thing so big in '98 because before that, when they had that strike in the '90s, there were a lot of fans that didn't forgive them. I mean, they didn't get back to normal till I would say to about 2006, 2007 after that strike. There were a lot of pissed off fans.
Well, hey, there's still fans in New York till this day that aren't fans of the Dodgers and the Giants and maybe the Mets because they left after 57.
Oh, I'm sure.
You still got ties. You know, there's still ties of fandom purpose or haven't been to a game in Candlestick, you know, or, you know, Pac Bell, Oracle Park. It's, you know, Dodger Stadium maybe.
I really want to go there. I really want to go to McCovey Cove. I want to see McCovey Cove one day.
Oh, it's a great ballpark. I never went to a game there, but I've like walked around the outside of it. It's amazing.
I gotta see that. That's one you got on me, bro. That's one I gotta see. There's nothing like a Major League Baseball game and Sports Center highlights showing that ball going into the water and all those crazy people going after it with the
kayaks.
Yes.
Yeah, and they have like other crazy boats and like crazy stunts go on in that McCovey Cove. I mean, you have somebody with like a BMX bike like going on a skateboard ramp. Like it's insane. I've never seen anything like it in watching professional sports. So yeah, man. I mean, yeah, like this field is going to be insane. I think it's definitely going to be a lot of turning. I think so. Like, if you had to pick a Cinderella team to make it to the College World Series, who would it be?
If they had ABS, which they don't, it would be Arkansas Little Rock. But they're gonna get squeezed on some strike zones and some pitches and like they did last year against LSU, and they're not gonna advance. So
what about Jack State?
Jack State, Lamar don't have a chance against A&M at Bluebell Park. A&M is so newly revived with Michael Early. They play so damn well at Bluebell Park. They hit so well at Bluebell Park. Unless something crazy happens, they'll dominate that regional. Who's in the Florida State? You know what? I'm gonna go see. Let's see what your boys from St. John's can do. Shit.
St. John's, Big East, man.
Let's see what they can do. Cause I mean, the Big East tournament was lit this year at that ballpark in Ohio. It was lit. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go
8 a.m. game.
Right. I think I'm going to go St. John's or University of Arkansas Little Rock. I don't see UIC doing what Murray State did or what Indiana State did a couple years ago. They had a good year, but, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say because the Missouri Valley is such a good mid-major team. Another situation. Remember when Evansville was taking it to Tennessee a couple years ago?
Yeah.
And then last year, Murray State gets to the College World Series. Indiana State hosted, almost made it to the College World Series. The Missouri Valley is so. Ooh. If I want to go on history, I'd have to say UIC would be my team to upset.
They're the slot programs of that conference.
Yeah.
UIC.
Yeah. I mean, Evansville, Murray State, Indiana State. I mean, historically, the Missouri Valley has had some really good teams, man. Some really good teams. Maybe East Carolina. I don't know. I don't think East Carolina has a chance, but maybe East Carolina. I don't know, bro. I'm going St. John's. Historically, we'll go UIC because they're Missouri Valley, but I'm going to lean St. John's or University of Arkansas Little Rock, but this year, I see it being a clear path. But, hey, last year, we saw what happened, so we'll see what happens.
Do you have your number, do you have, like, your 8 College World Series team set?
I don't, but I'm going to, right now, off top of my head, because UCLA was so tough, you have to give them that, only losing 6 freaking games all year. I'm gonna go UCLA. I'm gonna go Oregon. I'm gonna go West Virginia. I'm gonna go Texas. I'm gonna go Mississippi State. I'm gonna go Texas A&M and then Georgia. If I'm missing one, or I think that's 8. I'm not sure.
Well, you got to go 8 on. You got to go 8 on both sides.
Oh, I didn't go. Oh, I didn't go on both sides.
Yeah, 9 through 16, and then it has to.
Who would Georgia play? Who would Georgia play if they win their regional? Who's the toughest regional they play?
I'm trying to see right now. I'm on D1 baseball. So
Oh, okay.
The physical.
Yeah, I'd have to see. But if I didn't have to pick brackets off top of my head, if I didn't have to go against, I'd definitely have to go North Carolina, Georgia, Texas, Texas A&M, UCLA, Oregon, and I know I need 2 more because that's 6. So I'd have to go probably.
I'm on the official bracket right now.
Okay.
The interactive official bracket. So I'm gonna go UCLA.
Yep.
And then below is the Hattiesburg.
Oh, that'd be a very good super regional.
Yeah, I think Florida.
Yeah.
UNC.
Yep.
I kind of like USC, man. I don't know what.
Who they in? Who's against Nebraska?
A&M, Lamar, and Texas State.
USC's coming to College Station. You think they're gonna be able to get A&M?
They would have to play. So no, they can't. Yeah. So UNC. Hold on 1 second. I have to UCLA, Florida, UNC, and Auburn. Then the other side, I'm going to go Georgia. Man, I think Oregon could beat Texas, man.
That's why I said Oregon, bro. I said I'm going with Oregon.
I think Oregon could beat Texas in the SR. I think that's possible. I want to see Oklahoma State win Tuscaloosa, but I think FSU is going to be in that side and beat OKSU and get to Omaha.
Yeah, Oklahoma State brings the pain.
Then I'm going Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Georgia Tech is just looking too good.
Georgia Tech, FSU, Oregon, Georgia, that's 4. Then I have to go to the other side.
Yeah.
Auburn, that's 5.
Yeah.
UNC, they're gonna play USC. USC is gonna lose to UNC. That's
Right.
6.
All right.
Florida's gonna win that regional. And they're going to host if they play Southern Miss or whoever in that fill.
Yep.
As well. And then UCLA.
Man, this is going to be good, bro. We about to see this weekend. Somebody going to get upset, and I can't wait to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, bro. Y'all check it out. WorldBaseball.com, CollegeBaseballWeekly.com. And we out. And if you ain't hip to this college baseball postseason, you whack. We out.
You missing out, man. We got the MLB draft in Philly.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy. This is it.
Yeah, you missing out on some good ball if you ain't checking this field of 64 out this year. You better get out your mama's closet. We out.